What's going on YouTube? Captain Obvious bringing you a MP7 gameplay on Arcade. So, as you can tell by that noise, I'm not feeling the greatest. Got the sniffles, I guess. But this is an update video. I know last video there was like me up at 3 in the morning, completely worried about all the medical stuff that's going on in my family. To update everyone, because I'm sure some people at least were wondering, how things are going. The new baby, A-OK, went to a specialist. He said nothing looks out of the ordinary, but there is, of course, like all the percentage chances that this can happen and this can happen, which happens with every baby, so that's cool. Nothing big with him. The little one still got her problem. She has a genetic teeth defect. I'm going to call it that. I have diagnosed weak teeth. I don't know. They say I have weak teeth, and my daughter has it too, so she's got a broken tooth we're getting fixed for her, and some other things that's fixed. Long story. Don't really want to get into it. My wife, she's okay. She's just being pregnant and cute, so it's okay. But what I really wanted to talk about is my shoulder. This has been a topic in several videos. I went to my specialist, my orthopedics person in Landstuhl, Germany. If anybody knows what that is, or those who don't, that is the hospital where all the Iraq and Afghanistan injuries go to. They fly them out of country in Iraq and Afghanistan. They fly them to Landstuhl. They're the closest level 1 triage center, and there's only like 124 level 1 triage centers in the United States of America. So this is a big deal for that hospital, to have that honor. So it's like crazy hectic over there. I could do a video on just my experience there alone. But anyway, get there, and they do this thing called an arthrogram. They stick a needle in my arm, like all the way to the bone, and you're awake for this, and it's scary. I hate needles. I'm terrible. Don't even have a tattoo. I want one. I don't have one. But anyway, they stick a needle all the way to the bone, and they inject some dye. After that, they send you to MRI. MRI does their thing. Take the that was the sound of the machine, by the way. They take the MRI. They're like, okay, make sure you go to your next appointment. I'm like, cool. I go to my next appointment. It was like 2 hours later. I just hiccuped, and that was the oddest feeling ever. Anyway, go to the next appointment. The doctor sends his nurse back in after she takes my vitals and stuff. She's like, all right, take off your shirt. The doctor will be in a second. The nurse comes back in. She's like, those scans you gave us, because I had an MRI prior. Those scans you gave us, was it before or after you injured your shoulder the second time? I was like, after? Before. It was between the two injuries. She's like, okay, cool. So, like 10 minutes later, the doctor comes in. He's like, all right. It looks like a bomb went off in your shoulder. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, your shoulder's really messed up. Apparently, everybody knows what your pec muscle is, right? That's your booby muscle for boys, right? It's called a pectoral. The first layer of that goes from rib cage to like arm, essentially. And when you raise your arm like a chicken wing, it's that piece of meat that goes across to your arm, right? Well, the first layer of mine is missing. They said I tore it off, and they don't know where it's at. They can't find it on these scans. And the thing with an MRI is, like, if it's not in the right place, it doesn't look right. So they think it like blended in with another muscle on the scan itself. Which I'm like, okay, cool, you can't find a muscle of mine, that's no big deal, That's not important. He's like, and? I was like, what? He's like, you tore one of the ligaments for your bicep. And I was like, oh, that sucks. He's like, so don't do any curls at all. I'm like, okay, you could have told me that like 3 months ago. But, and then he's like, and? I was like, oh my god! And you have a Bankart lesion, which is, it's a tear in the rotator cuff, but it's a tear inside the tissue. Like, some tears are on the edge. Like, they tear from, like, the center of the rotator cuff to the edge. So it's like Pac-Man flapping out there. My tear is from like a little bit from inside the edge to a little bit from beside the edge. So there's a hole essentially in the rotator cuff, and two edges are still there. So it's really weird, and with all those combined, my shoulder joint that's attached to my arm is sitting on the front side of my shoulder socket, and it causes me to have like a funny droopy arm. I don't know. So I'm getting surgery in April, middle of April. I will let everyone know because I'm sure people like these updates, even though it's about my health. And we will talk to you later. This has been Captain Obvious. Have a good day.